Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Turn my headset off here. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Easter Monday. I hope you all had a fabulous holiday weekend. For those of you who celebrate, hope you had some good food. Did an Easter egg hunt. I know I hid my own Easter eggs this year and still looking for them, but we'll get them. We'll get them. How are you guys doing? Yo, Mr. Millet. Millet Man 123. How we doing? Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome here. We'll let some people pile in here. Yeah, tell me about your weekend. Good afternoon, Dylan. All good, bro. How are you? I'm good, man. Good. Doing well. Thanks for asking. Slow start to the week. Don't mind it. Came off of work this morning. Doing some IKEA furniture building. Visiting some family that was in town. But they are gone now, and I am psyched to be here with you guys. What's the best time to trade other than New York Open? Anytime. You can trade London session, you could trade the PM session, you can trade Asia session. There's really no best time because it changes day by day and it depends on the type of trader you want to be. So I would say that's for you to find out and that's for your data to tell you. But for me personally on indices, I prefer the AM session as that typically brings the best opportunities. But like I said, it can change day by day, week by week. There's different flavors of each week. You'll have like a weekly tendency. Sometimes it's a 930 SMR. Sometimes it's a chop fest like it has been. Sometimes it's seek and destroy. You know, the profile can change. And it seems like what we got today is a little bit of seek and destroy. Okay, so I haven't spent a ton of time on the charts today just because of, you know, previous commitments. Today is a bank holiday across Europe, France, Germany, Italy, and UK as well. Great Britain has a bank holiday as well. So volume's going to be maybe a little bit lighter. We had some ISM services PMI at 10, and we had Trump speaking at 1 o'clock Eastern, which did not bring a ton. It brought a little bit of an expansion lower below the London low and AM session low. But let's go through the day. And I want to quickly just glance at the week, so bear with me for Newsweek. So I do not need all of those countries listed. Okay. Tomorrow's orange folder, we have FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. Thursday, we have core PCE, price index, and quarter-over-quarter final GDP. And then we have CPI on Friday. Okay, so we got a pretty good week. Packed in the latter half of the week. But we should have a little bit of fun. So what I like to do when I show up to the charts is I like to just kind of print the session, the start of the day up until now. So we'll do that quickly here. We can see we gapped down. This was pretty expected given all of the rhetoric and the bearish, hostile news between Iran and US that was exchanged, talking about bombs and whatnot. So we had a gap down, traded down into further into this gap from Friday. No SMT created, nothing like that. We then inversed the new week opening gap, which, I mean, I'm just going to draw the dead space. Technically, it's from the closing price to the opening price, so we can do it the right way. And then retracement at 11:15 into said new week opening gap. Again, no SMT present there. You did have this AM high and daily high SMT with YM and ES as it swept the Thursday high and the Friday high. However, we did not create any sort of breaker block on the 15-minute to suggest that we were going to the downside. It was close, but it failed to confirm, so there's no shorts there. We're still sticking with the high time frame expansion that we're having from the beginning of last week, and we still have projections to meet. Okay. So nothing to do. Then we get some more SMT. That's then deleted, and we just are maintaining this daily high SMT as we're continuing higher. So there's nothing really to do here for me personally. You could argue, I guess, you've got some previous hourly low SMT with YM at this low here during the London session. And you could be working off of the previous 4-hour expansion, maybe targeting up into these highs up here, which do align with more standard deviations. You draw this 15-minute breaker standard deviation as I already have. Then if you wanted to drop down to a low time frame, and you could find an entry, I'm sure you could take this IFVG once it closes if you want, because you're in line with high time frame order flow. So you're okay to take continuation entries and you're good to take IFVGs because you have some higher time frame sponsorship, right? That's why this IFVG, I mean, yes, it's valid. It overlaps with the breaker. It's clearly formed. We have expansion through it very nicely, but you don't have any higher time frame sponsorship. You are bullish on higher time frames, right? On the 4-hour, we're still bullish. We have not met projections of that bullish breaker. So while on the daily, yes, we look quite bearish, but you need to have step by step timeframes in alignment with your bias and your narrative in order to be able to take ones like that. Currently, we are in a 1-hour and 4-hour bullish environment. So until we are in a bearish 4-hour and 1-hour environment, we can't really anticipate that IFVGs are going to be high probability, right? So we got to play with what the intermediate and high time frames are telling us, right? And then from there, the AM session, I'll get to your questions in a moment. The AM session did print some SMT at the London session low, which was right here. I'm actually going to go back. London session low SMT with YM while tagging into the 15-minute breaker from London that did not get repriced into until 6:45, but there was no SMT there. And then you can see that we traded up higher, swept this high, just missed projections, but I mean, I'm going to call that close enough because projections are not an exact thing. They're just a range, kind of a zone, if you will. So you could have went long off of there. However, the way it's set up was kind of messy. Like if you drop down to the 1 minute, like the SMT for the London low SMT, which is where you would have wanted to be entering when that formed like while we were already expanding up here, while we were already, almost 100 points away from where our entry would have liked to be. And then it ran the low again, right? So it's just kind of messy. The SMT timing with the SMR was a little bit off. So you could definitely make a case for maybe a little bit of a lower probability. So if that kind of spooked you, uh, I mean, that's there's no worries there. I didn't take it either. Not because of that, but because I just wasn't really quite at the chart yet. But so yeah, and then we've just been having chop all day long. So I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, not a whole ton to do. But we will get to some questions. We'll do some reviews. We'll chat about whatever. We can make this more of a Q&A style education stream, which I think would be swell. So glad to be back here this week. Yes, yes, me too, Mason. Welcome. Hey Bray. Hey, not just I don't know what to call you. Just over. Like not just over. I don't want to say your full name. Let's call you not. Hey Bray, what is your journal reviewing process like? Like what kind of questions do you ask yourself when you're doing reviews? It's a great question. Let me show you. Rather, let me tell you. I can't pull my journal up here, but I'll have it on a different screen. And then I can kind of prompt you or tell you what my prompts are. So right there, move that over there. So I have templates built. I have a pre-market report and a post-market report, and I have a trade review. Okay. Now, why is this shit all buggy? Why are you the way that you are? There we go. No, it's still being buggy. So my journaling process is kind of a, as the day goes on type of deal, right? Okay, TradeZella just has a fucking attitude problem, I guess. But it's basically going over the day before it starts, right? So I look at things like the economic calendar, right? That's the number one thing. And I check in with myself, physically, emotionally, to make sure that my sleep quality is good, make sure that I don't have any distractions, make sure that my mood is okay, right? How am I feeling going into this session? If I have any sort of, red flags going on that I want to, that might have a potential for hindering my performance, I need to address those and I need to act accordingly, right? Because, if you got into a scrap with your spouse last night and you are, still kind of ticked off about it or whatever, or you just don't feel settled, that's going to affect your trading, whether you believe it or not. It's going to, we are human. We 100% can be affected by past experiences like that, and it can wreak havoc on our trading. So you have to identify those things and have roadblocks in place to mitigate it, right? Just to keep yourself safe, keep your capital safe, and to ultimately survive, right? Survive in the markets for the long term. Okay. Yeah, this TradeZella is super, super, super buggy. I added my template, but it's not loading. Whatever. So I'll just kind of go off the dome. Justin, okay, I'll call you Justin. So as far as reviewing goes, Pude, Pud, call you Pud. Pud's fun. As far as journal review goes, it's really just about asking myself, is this in alignment with my model? How did I arrive at this idea? Was the idea valid? How did I handle myself emotionally? What did I feel emotionally? Right. So I kind of just go from step by step, how the trade idea came to be, how I built my narrative to arrive at that idea. And then it starts just from like, okay, how was my execution? Was my execution good? Was I patient? Was I following and adhering to my process? Yes. Okay, good. No notes. If there was something wrong, then I'd have to dig into that, right? Maybe I entered a little bit early in anticipation. I need to address that. Okay. And then management. Okay. How did I manage my trade? Did I keep my break even at a specific, did I not go break even until the right time? Did I choke my trade a little bit? Did I exit early? Things like that, right? Did I make the wrong decision somewhere along the line? How was my management on a scale of, or you can give it a grade, A plus to whatever, B minus or whatever. And then from there, it's how did you feel emotionally throughout all of this? If any emotions arose, which is going to happen pretty much with every trade you take, you're going to have some sort of emotion pop up, whether it's easily manageable or not. You have to address that. And then just really asking yourself the number one question is like, would you take this trade again? If that answer is yes, you did a great job. If that answer is no, you need to dig into why. And you need to look into, the specifics, what confluences were present or not present. What emotions did you feel? How did you react? What was wrong about this trade that makes you think that you shouldn't take it again? And I'm not just saying just because it was a loss, don't take it again. Try to see past that. Try to see from a process based approach, right? Because there's plenty of losses that you're going to take, and they are going to be great losses, right? And that's just probabilities, right? You're not going to have a 100% win rate. Just because a trade was a win, it doesn't mean it was a good trade, and just because a trade was a loss, it doesn't make it a bad one, right? It's all based on your process. Okay. So I kind of ask myself those questions. Should be able to look at past trades. Yeah. But those are kind of the questions that I ask myself. TradeZella is being kind of buggy, and I haven't used it in a bit, but yeah. So those are kind of the things that I ask myself. It's really coming to the conclusion whether you should have or shouldn't have taken that trade again, or whether you would or wouldn't. And then just identifying trends, right? Key performance indicators, KPIs. We've been bullish since digital open. Is it reasonable to accept this choppiness from AM session as the consolidation that happens after a run like this? I mean, this run wasn't really big enough to anticipate, any sort of consolidation. I think the fact that it is Easter Monday is probably going to be a big contributing factor. I'm not one to really follow volume or anything like that, but I mean, you put two and two together, holiday weekend. Where do you think big money's going? Do you think they're itching to get back in the office on Monday? No, they're probably still on their way back from Martha's Vineyard, um, trying to get back to their desk for tomorrow morning. So I think Easter Monday, it's probably the biggest contributing factor. But yeah, I would say that that's probably the biggest thing. Loving the channel. Nice to meet you. Yes, nice to meet you too, Fred. Welcome in. Welcome in. Any questions you have, feel free to ask. In your trading journal, do you also record when you've been slightly influenced by other traders to move your stop loss or TP early, and why? Does it even happen to you? Sort of. There's only one person on the face of this earth that can influence my trading. And it's the guy that I learn a shit ton from. But I'm not affected by it really much anymore. Used to, for sure. But that's something, if you are affected by other people's analysis and you don't trust your own, you need to stop putting yourself in situations where you see their analysis. So get out of Discord, get off of YouTube, get off of whatever. If you're trading, trade. Be at the charts, you and the charts. That's it. You need to take accountability for your own ideas and your own trades. Otherwise, you're not going to learn anything. And your analysis is the best analysis, whether you are a shit analyst or not, because you're not going to learn anything from someone else's ideas. You need to get that experience on your own. So when you find that you're being influenced, remove the root problem, remove the influence. It sucks because I know we all like to chat and, chat amongst ourselves in here. But if there's one thing that I can say in here is whenever I'm taking a trade, you will not hear me. Whenever I'm in a trade or I disagree with you guys, I will not be trying to influence you whatsoever. If I take a trade, I actively advocate against it because, one, I'm not an advisor. I'm not licensed to give any sort of financial advice. But also, I want you guys to arrive at conclusions on your own. If you fade me, do it. If you have criteria that goes directly against my analysis, follow your stuff. Don't follow mine. I'm just here to help guide you guys a little bit and answer questions, right? And provide somewhat entertainment. So you got to learn to be independent. It's an independent game as much as it seems like it's a hive community. It's really not. Also, do you take screenshots of YMES and NQ, or do you just focus on the asset that provides a better framework? Um, I just trade NQ, so I pay attention to what ES and YM are doing because I use it for divergences. But as far as trading goes, I trade, if I'm trading the indexes, I'm trading NASDAQ. I don't, there's some people that'll trade, the strongest or the weakest based off of, divergences, which is fine to do. I don't do it, but that's just me. Maybe in the future I will. But I know there's some guys like Garrett, Afiz, a couple of those guys who are much better than me, who trade like that. But I don't personally subscribe to it. That's due to ignorance, though, not due to any sort of disagreement. So let's take a peek at what's going on currently. Um, highly, highly similar to what a dog turd looks like, for sure. what, what this PA looks like to me. You can kind of just take one peek. I take one peek at it and I can kind of, see I'm like, okay, there's not much to do here. We're working in between. Um, we created this breaker from the high, from the AM session that has no SMT attached to it, that I am aware of. Nah, I guess you could say Wednesday, which is the previous weekly high. You got previous weekly high SMT with YM, but now you've got some London low and more local SMT in the form of AM and London low SMT. And we are not creating a breaker yet on the bullish side. That would require a closure above the lunch high. But we're kind of stuck here, and I'm okay with that. We got 2 minutes and 35 seconds until this next 15-minute candle closes. So if this breaker confirms, then you're working in between two breakers with SMT, one with previous weekly high and one with recent session SMT. So if you want to trade that, be my guest. I don't like to trade trapped order flow like that. That's just me. Something that could occur, maybe, is AM high. So, okay, this is where you start building narrative. So we have YM creating a failure swing at the previous weekly high. Yeah, at its previous weekly high. ES and NQ have taken its previous weekly high. And off of that S&T, we have this 50-minute breaker to the downside. It's not an hourly breaker yet because it hasn't confirmed, but we do have a change in state of delivery on the hourly. And we do have a 4-hour swing. So if we were to get this an SMT at the AM session high with YM, that would allow YM to take its counterpart in liquidity and take its form of liquidity since it did not take previous weekly high. And that will kind of form that SMT where NQ sweeps, YM fails, and then YM sweeps and NQ fails. And we're trading inside of this 50-minute breaker. That is rather large, if I do say so. It is 200 points, 207 points. So projections will take you all the way back down to this gap and the monthly open. So this gap down here. So potential. Um, but if this 15-minute breaker confirms, then we've got conflicting criteria, right? So maybe we have to wait for a little more confirmation. So wait for that AM high SMT to form if it wants to, and then look for a lower time frame trade, right? And keep in mind it is the PM session, so if you're trading props, this isn't something that we're anticipating, a 500 point move for the afternoon. That's not what I'm saying. So we'd have to align ourselves with kind of more of a scalping idea, and that requires lower time frame confirmation, which is also helpful in this situation because we want that extra confirmation given the current um, landscape of the PA that we have this morning. Are you a full-time trader? No, I'm not. I am not. I have a full-time job, just with a great schedule that allows me to trade semi full-time, 3 days a week minimum. Yes, I am a full-time disco dancer. Yep. Runner up at Canada's Got Talent. Thanks, Sir Bray. I appreciate what you shared. Hey, my pleasure. You don't have to call me sir either. I'm not your father-in-law. It's all good. But I appreciate the respect. Happy to help. Happy to help. If you guys do like the stream, give it a like. Give it a little subscribe. We got 30 people in here and 11 likes. I think we can probably match that a little better. But yeah, we'll see what the rest of this PM session brings. What's up, Dean? Is that Dino? That is Dino. I know it is. It's gotta be. Yeah. I knew it. I can feel that energy. I can feel that Dino energy. Yeah, any questions you guys have, don't hesitate. I am but a humble servant here to help you guys navigate a little bit. But on my end, there's not much to do, and I'm so good with that. But yeah, anything you guys want to talk about? What confirmations would you look for to go lower here? Justin, good question. So first things first, right? We need to see step 1 and 2 occur, right? And that's, we already built our narrative, right? So we have an idea, and that's that we want to see this SMT at the AM session high. So number 1, number 2 is going to be liquidity in SMT, right? So our liquidity that we're going to be utilizing for the idea is going to be at this AM session high. So we want to see SMT get created at that AM session high with YM. So I don't like that that's red. Let's go black. So we want to see that first. Okay. From there, we can drop down to a low time frame, meaning 3 minute, 1 minute, even a 5 minute if you want. I'd say the 1 or the 3 is probably good. And then on the lower time frame, you want to zoom in. Once we form that SMT at AM high, you want to just basically look for this. Pretty much it. Target 2R minimum. Use standard deviation projections. You could probably target these equal lows. And then, yeah, that could be the idea there. So step 1, liquidity and SMT at said liquidity. Step 3, or step 1, 2, and 3, like you said, step 3 would be the breaker confirmation on the low time frame. On lower time frame, would you look for a breaker in CST? Yep, exactly. For me, it's the breaker. But if you want to use the change of state of delivery or the order block formation, you're free to do that as well. It's all personal preference. I like breakers though. I'm a breaker guy. Big breaker guy over here. Uh, two. Read a note, I had a thought. Just grabbing a pen. Did I take anything this morning? No, I did not. I did not. I am flat so far in the week. Okay. Is that all that I need to do? Sticky notes are so clutch. If we draw the range from the 10 a.m. high to the low at 112, price just reached off of OTE while sweeping out equal highs. Could we look for a reversal from here? No, not for me. From the high to 112. So from here, price just reached OTE. You're right, it did reach OTE. For me, I need to see some SMT occur inside here. We could get some sort of like consecutive candle SMT at this 1415 high. But I'm holding out for a higher time frame SMT just because we're so choppy here, right? We have this 15-minute bearish breaker created. It's created with SMT on the London low and AM low. And we're now beginning to potentially create a 15-minute bullish breaker on the upside with this SMT here. So if this 15-minute breaker gets created, I'm going to want it to well, preferably not get created, but create SMT at AM high. So like an expansion high, but still reject on the high time frame. But I wouldn't be looking for any sort of continuation lower from here down into the PM low. It's a low probability setup for me, just because there's no SMT. The liquidity is it's not great. I don't want to see local SMT at liquidity that's recent, not just the previous weekly high. So the landscape is a little bit shoddy. Excuse me. Let's check on other assets, shall we? What SMT indicator are you using right now? It's a paid one that someone I know built. Oil is still a ripper. Yeah. Don't have much to say on oil. Gold. Don't have much to say on gold either. daily. Kind of working inside of this daily for value gap here. We did trade back up into premium. So I was talking to you guys last week about this in my first stream, saying how we could find ourselves trading back up into the premium of this range from this high to this low inside of this fair value gap. And that's price has done just that. Traded up into there, and now we're just kind of, we formed a daily swing. 2 is the downside. Previous daily high S&T was silver. Have an hourly breaker block. That hourly breaker block has met projections on -2, -2.5. Now we're kind of just bouncing here. Bouncing about, so I don't have a ton by way of analysis for gold, which keeps my attention on NASDAQ. That's pretty much what we're working with right now. Have you heard about QT, quarterly theory? And if so, what's your opinion on all that, time-based trading, or just the idea that time being the most important thing? I have heard about QT. I do not have an opinion on it. I know that people trade it and they make money off it, and that's good enough for me if it's good enough for them. Time-based trading, or just the idea that time being the most important thing. Time is a very important thing, but just like everything else, it's confluence that you use. Personally, I think liquidity is the most important thing, but time has its place too. Because liquidity and SMT and breakers tell you when it's the right time. The time doesn't tell you when it's the right time. It's the confluences that surround that time. Because if you don't have those confluences, then it's not the right time, right? So you have to pair them together. But yeah, I don't have an opinion on QT. The only opinion that I have, well, the only thing that I know about QT is that the so-called creator of it has blocked me on social media, specifically Twitter. So can't really speak to much. Never spoken to the guy a day in my life, and he blocked me. So time isn't real. Now that's deep. Now that, sir, is deep. Has anyone been watching ICT's live streams? What's he been talking about? I haven't. I get his notifications, but what's Unc been up to? What's he up to? LOL, yeah, the creator of QT is kind of weird, but his theory actually makes sense to me. Sure, it makes sense, but I mean, you can make anything make sense. You could use quarterly theory from a perspective of splitting time up into time cycles into quarters. You could go split time cycles up into thirds because of the whole power three and vortex math and all that stuff too. You can do that as well, and I'm sure you can find an edge in there. You can make sense of pretty much everything. Pretty much anything you can make sense of with enough nuance. Yeah, that's exactly trading. You can make everything make sense. But yeah, has anyone been tuning into Michael's streams? He's been streaming quite consistently, not somewhat. He takes the week of Easter off, I know. But yeah, he's been consistent. He's been having market commentary. I don't know. I don't think I've ever I haven't tuned into any of his streams as of late. I don't even follow him on Twitter anymore, to be fair. The guy's like I got what I needed from that guy. I don't need more. It's up to me now. It's up to me to take what I learned from him and turn it into something and find success and maintain that success. Once you get to that certain point, you kind of should just shut out all new information and work with what you've got. I don't think I've ever gone to one of his streams. Man, they were fun. They were fun and funny back in the day. It's like he's a great educator, knows a lot, but execution is um, shit, for lack of a better phrase. Not that his entries are bad. It's just you can tell he knows so much that his brain goes a mile a minute. He can develop a lot of ideas, and I think he tries to show off a little bit on YouTube, which isn't great. But lots of respect for him. But there's a lot of drama involved in that space. I try to stay relatively clear from said drama because I know I'll get sucked in real easily because I have an ego. So failing to create this 50-minute breaker, well, not once, but twice, two different 50-minute candles. Hourly candle still expanding up after a failure on the 1 o'clock candle to close below the 9 a.m. low. Lately, I've been listening to Michael just for psychology. I'm literally avoiding any new concepts because I just know nobody needs it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's you know enough already. It's um oftentimes just people like to just search for more and more and more in that holy grail, and really it's the holy grail is just your ability to take something and just work with what you have. There's people out here trading trend lines of all things, and they make money with it because they have proper risk management. I'm quite positive that with good risk management and a solid understanding of your model and when it works and when it doesn't is all you literally need. Good risk management is like the difference maker between great success and mediocre results and bad results. Being able to take that analysis and turn it into steady, consistent, palpable execution that's consistent mainly. Hmm. What are you guys thinking for the PM? Are you guys just kind of like me and just rocking it, waiting for something to happen? Or just, or do you have an idea that you are hunting? What are you thinking? Did you take any trades this morning? Did you learn anything? How'd you guys do today so far? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Bitcoin. Guess I could check Bitcoin too. Bitcoin's doing nothing. Bitcoin's been stuck for 59 daily candles. 59 days. Almost 2 months ago, we formed our low. I heard that book you mentioned last time today, the one from Yumi Sakura. Yeah, enjoy. Let me know how it is, Zaza. Let me know what you think of it. I know how it is, but let me know what you think of it. It's a good book. Meta has earnings coming up end of April. Alex, you started reading it this week as well. Nice, nice. Hopefully the book helps. What was the other stock that I like? Microsoft? For long term? Yeah. Microsoft has a awesome, awesome potential. When are its earnings? April 29th as well, April 28th. End of April. So why don't can I set like a daily alert? Like a specific day? A calendar alert? I can set price alerts, but I cannot set time alerts. I'll have to set it on my calendar. Amazon. What are some other good stocks? Zevia. Looking at a long time ago. No fucking way. USO's at 139. Are we dead ass? Hang on. Does it look different than the heck? Oh. This chart looks different. I might be tripping, but it looks different. I did not think that USO was trading up at 950 in 08. Like, what? So you're telling me that if you bought fucking stupid one. Yeah. It's crazy. I know it's a consolidating asset, but sheesh. I mean, all my analysis on USO is based off of oil, crude oil, which was Monday. Yeah, bought down here. I'm going to play. I'm going to do a little options profit calculator to see how much money I missed out on my hauls. By May 15th, 120 strike. I paid $9.55 per contract. You're now worth, what's the date today? April 6th. At 139. I would be up 179%. Okay, a lot less than I thought. Still, sorry, I was getting distracted. Atomic Habits. Yes, Atomic Habits is a great book. I've read that one as well. Highly recommend that one. Nothing going on currently on the indices still. This is going to be one of those sessions, ladies and gents. Going to be one of those days where we grind it out. 3 minutes until the open of the new hour, though. Maybe we can get a little bit of action on that new hourly candle. 3 p.m. has been a little bit kind of nice. Has a tendency to be nice if it wants. Bad PA today, 1 BE. Yeah, was a little bit tricky, choppy, not really wanted to go anywhere. What is that? I can hear my girlfriend building IKEA furniture. There's a lot of cussing involved. I'm just sitting over here giggling. I knew it would happen. Then can we see 170 oil prices realistically? Can that be a thing? Imagine 170 oil. Even like 150s would be nuts. Fifty-minute breaker got created on NASDAQ. That honestly just like um solidifies my idea of just sitting tight because now we have two 50-minute breakers on opposing sides. So we have potential for trapped order flow. Now we're just going to kind of play this range. So this high and this low are going to be important. I wish I had more for you guys. I wish I had some sort of, you know, means of communicating some more information here, but this is just a chart that is, it doesn't interest me whatsoever until we see something a little more high probability or something with a little more confluence, even because we're just, I mean, even the 1 minute doesn't look great, the 5 minute it doesn't look great. So I won't sit here and subject myself to trying to force an idea. So I appreciate you guys for staying and sticking around. Um, Definitely take this time to ask questions, communicate back and forth, involve yourself a little bit with the conversation. That always makes it a little bit more entertaining, a little more fun for everyone. I can't make the chart do I can't make the chart do anything, unfortunately, much to my detriment. Market is like watching paint dry on a wall. Yeah, you ain't kidding. I'm in ES short scalp though. 66.45. There's a devil's mark. Oh, yeah. Wait. Devil's mark on what time frame? Oh, this one on the 1 minute. Yeah, that's uh that's a little too zoomed in for me, fella, but best of luck to you. I see what you're talking about on the 1 minute. This guy right here, right? 1452. 15 seconds, yeah, you could miss me with that shit. I can't do that stuff no more. Good luck. 15 seconds is too small. I mean, depend where are you short from? You're just going from, like, it's a sub 5 handle move on ES. That's, I mean, you got to go low time frame to make something like that worth it. But good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Shotgun a Celsius in the 5 seconds is too slow. I don't know what the hype is. I'm gonna sound super fucking um controversial here, but I don't understand the hype around Celsius. I think they're shit, personally. I think Alani's are better than Celsius. I think Alani's are top tier, S tier. What's Celsius? It's just a brand of energy drink. You haven't had a real energy drink until you've had an iced Americano. That shit will hit you in the dome. You want to know what locked in feels like? Drink one of those. You'll be fearing for your life. You'll have so much energy you won't know what to do with it. You're like a caged up pit bull. When I worked at Starbucks, we used to do 16 ounces of cold brew with two ad shots. Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's some crazy shit. There's your 66.45 logic. And then some. Isn't Starbucks like under a lawsuit right now for like something to do with their coffee, obviously. Something they put in it. They always are. Oh, I mean, okay, fair. I heard something they put in their coffee is just like it's some sort of chemical and it's very harmful. I mean, biggest coffee company in the world. Are they not? They're not the biggest coffee shop brand in the world? Oh, I believe you. I believe there's always a lawsuit. It's like Johnson and Johnson, like any pharmaceutical company, really. They always got some sort of lawsuit going on. They just keep paying them off. Nobody does anything. Everybody needs their venti macchiato. Everybody needs their frappuccinos. Let's see what kind of action we can get for the PM session. Currently, previous hour closed bullish. Actually creating an hourly bullish breaker. Also a 15-minute bullish breaker. So lawsuit about toxic industrial solvents and decaf. Yeah, that's one. Another one about illegal racial quotas, hiring, and then a worker protection settlement. Oh my. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Man, this is boring. We need like a we need other segments for when PA is boring and kind of some filler. If you guys have any ideas, hit me up with them. Because when PA is boring like this and I can't be bothered to trade, I would love if you guys had some ideas as to like how we could fill the show with a little more excitement and a little more information. So if you have any ideas, please, 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 please let me know. No idea is a stupid idea. Nothing high probability gonna happen here for me, brother. Gonna head out. Thanks for the time and effort as always, Bray. Hey, happy to help, Dino. Have a good rest of your day, brother. Canadian history lessons with Uncle Bray. Oh man, I'm not the history guy. I'm not the history guy. But if you have questions about Canada, I will try to help because that is just the Canadian in me. I was on my phone for something. What was I gonna search up? I can't remember. Bollocks. Can't remember. Dang it. Hmm. Well, took today off. By the looks of it, it was a good decision. Any thoughts for the week? Very good decision, honestly. If you took the day off today, you are sitting pretty good. You would have saved a lot of mental capital. For the week, I mean, I think it's just going to be the same playbook as it has been, right? Where we're going to get bullish news, bullish, and then we're going to start to get some heavy news, and it's just going to keep on bringing us lower. Like I don't see personally any sign of the Iran war stopping, which means I don't see any sign of bullish PA on equities um, going on yet. That can change in a matter of a single statement, but I would not be surprised if we just start to see us reach some standard deviations, maybe up the high from Monday, March 23rd, um, or up above these highs here. So kind of up in here, seeing some sort of downturn from there to kind of conclude the market maker buy model, and then we can get some downside from there. But things can change, of course, as I said earlier. It seems like this thing is going to be dragged on and on and on and on. And from a monthly perspective, if you look at the monthly candle, this previous month closed very bearish below the previous month. To close out the quarter, bearish. So let's go 1 month. I mean, this previous monthly low, I think we need to form some sort of swing, right? Like same as last year, like last March, closed bearish, April, swing lower, rip higher. First quarter, kind of accumulate, and then second quarter you can manipulate and then get your expansions. That's kind of what I'm anticipating. Maybe we can get a little bit deeper below this previous monthly low and kind of get something like that. That would be something I'm looking for like long term. For the week though, I think currently um, until I see some more bearish proof, I think we're just going to continue to target highs, like these highs up here, these standard deviation projections. So this is the current weekly projection from the low of the week to the open of the week. -4. We've blasted through -2. Now we're kind of accumulating in here. And then -4 of the weekly projections is up at these relative equal highs. And then we also have -4 standard deviations and -2 standard deviations of this 1 hour breaker and this 4 hour breaker resting up above these highs here. And we have these gaps here as well. So we might see us get up in there too. So these two orange lines here and here are of interest for me, liquidity wise. They align with standard deviations, they're in premium. Yeah, I think that would be where I'd be looking first. And then from there, I'd be looking for some sort of midweek reversal, which does line up with, GDP, PCE price index, and CPI on Thursday and Friday. So maybe we can form our high week on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Thursday, Friday, we can begin a descent lower and then going into the previous week or the next week, we can flip this monthly open and then kind of use that as fuel to, or resistance to trade lower. That'd be great. I'd say keep an eye on the headlines. Keep an eye on like the language and the rhetoric used by specifically Iran and US. And watch the oil markets too. I mean, we've had a pretty perfect correlation inversely between oil and NASDAQ and equities. Oil higher, equities lower, vice versa. Does that make sense? Anyone else have any similar thoughts or differing thoughts? Let me know. We can chat about that too. We can talk about, how you build your weekly narrative and how you find the specific profile that you're looking to trade and whatnot. April 6th. Why this many projections? Because they're all important. I anchor a lot of fibs. I mean, it's not that many. This one is really not important anymore. This one is not important anymore either. So it's really just 1, 2, 3. Any giveaway? Not today, brother. Stay tuned for giveaways. Giveaways come later once we get more subscribers, more people tuning in. All the more reason to do giveaways then. Right now, we are getting things off the ground and getting sorted out. Once our audience is good and we have really good, audiences, you guys will be rewarded with giveaways. But I can't make those calls because I'm not the one giving stuff away. It would be through prop firm compare. I would imagine. But yeah, in the future, we'd love to do giveaways for you guys. We'd love to give back. It's definitely something we'd like to do. But yeah, I have that many projections, Nevin, just because they are important to me for identifying potential draws on liquidity, right? So this hourly breaker from last Thursday, -2, -2.5 standard deviations line up really nicely with this Wednesday high. Very key point of reference. You can see where we traded to and where we're kind of stalling out at. This one currently as well. This is a very good draw for the day. You're measuring the low of the day to the daily open and weekly open. And look at where we traded to and where we have kind of stalled out. So Standard deviation projections are very good for not only picking draws, but also anticipating when the move is likely to be over, right? Because your expansion is only as good as the projections of the manipulation that it gives you. And typically, on average, your expansion or distribution is going to be 2 to 2.5 times the size of the manipulation, points wise, to a max of up to usually -4 or 4 times. Question: when trading with prop firms, I just started now with Lucid 50K accounts. How aggressive are you? Do you look to pass the eval quickly? How soon? Or do you trade it with precaution? It really all depends on how experienced you are. If I were you and I were just starting with prop firms, I like to risk 10% of my allowable drawdown. So if you have a 50K account, $50K eval with a $2,000 of drawdown, risking 10% per trade, that gives you 10 losses to blowing it, or I guess 10 losses of room. You're going to be risking $200 a trade. That's kind of the industry standard. It's usually what people use. If you get more experienced, you can maybe up it to 20. Some people with deep pockets will just buy them on a CPI day and gamble them. I don't recommend that unless you have a lot of cash and you can afford to blow them. I don't think that's wise. I think if you're new to trading or if you're new to prop firms, you need to get familiar with the rules that they have in place and you need to play their game. You need to play by their rules because it is a game that you have to play. You have to have consistency. You have to follow their rules. You know that you can't be trading specific news events with some firms. You know that you cannot go a week without trading due to inactivity rules. You know that you have to not have any botting going on or any high frequency trading because that will get flagged, right? So you have to read the terms and conditions and you got to play their game. So having a model and sticking to said model in eval all the way through funded to your payout, that is your goal. You need to show consistency throughout that entire process because if you just start gambling evals and then you get funded all of a sudden, you're not going to know what to do. Because you can't gamble you're funded. You're just going to blow it. That's not sustainable. So it's better to prove consistency with your evaluation by trading a set model with rules, following those rules, and carrying it over into funded environment. How do you approach funded with consistency? Be consistent. Next question. No, dude, it's just have a model. If you don't have a model, don't buy an evaluation. If you don't have a model, get to the charts, start back testing, and build it. Find your edge, right? Utilize resources such as this stream to take snippets from and build an edge, right? Study, look at charts, go through each week and look at the best moves and reverse engineer them and like how you could get involved with it, right? That's what everyone does. And then take all of that and bring it into a back testing environment and see and like stress test that edge and see if it holds up. And then from there you make your refinements, right? But once you go into eval and once you get into like funded, like you should already your job is easy. Your job is to A, follow your model and process, and B, in between any trades, just don't be a dickhead. That's it. Follow your plan. That's your job. Your job is to execute, right? regardless of loss or win or any sort of outcome, you execute, execute, execute. So, I mean, by the time you're funded, like you should probably already have all these things in place and you should know what you need to do. If you don't, then you're gambling. How would I rate today out of 10? I'm not sure. I don't I don't rate the market. I just rate my performance. Today, 10 out of 10 for me because I followed my plan. I wasn't sucked into low probability price action. I stayed patient. Right? That's what matters. I don't care what grade to give a specific day. Like, I mean, all PA is different. I mean, all PA is PA. Today just wasn't a high time frame expansion, but like today, someone might grade today beautiful because like you had so many scalping opportunities, right? But just because I didn't get any trades, it doesn't mean it was a shit day. It's just not a day that's conducive to any sort of actionable items. So, yeah, it's just boring. It's just boring, that's all. I'm bored. But hanging out with you guys is pretty good, pretty good consolation. One of these days, we're going to get a banger day, though, and it's going to be extremely fun. We're going to have lots to talk about. We're going to have lots of questions. But right now, we just have to sit still. If we can manage to sit still when things are slow, when things are calm, when there's not a lot going on, and we can learn to keep our money and save our money for when the getting's good, it makes things way more enjoyable. Because there's nothing worse, and I know everyone's done this. There's nothing worse than blowing your load during low probability, crappy price action because you don't know how to contain yourself. You don't know how to remain disciplined. And then when the getting's good, when the sun is shining and you should be out there farming and taking trades that are extremely, buttery smooth, and you miss all of it because you blew your account, it's a terrible feeling. So we make hay when the sun shines, and we sit in the shop and drink beer when it's raining. I don't know. That's typically what farmers do. That's what I would do if I was a farmer anyway. But yep, I can tell you every cliche in the book, it's day trading. It doesn't mean it's everyday trading. So moments like this are when it's most boring. This is the job description. This is the shit that they don't tell you about, right? It's the shit that your Miami fucking gurus will never tell you that it's boring. And boring trading is good trading. Don't listen to I don't even know who. I'm not even going to name names because it's really not worth the energy, but don't listen to the people who say or who are always looking for something, looking for trades, looking for this and that and the other thing. They're selling you a fucking dream. It's not how you should manage your money. You should manage your account a lot more responsibly than that. It's not some skill that you can just flaunt off and be out for dinner with your friends and say like, "Oh, look at this! I'm going to take this trade on Nasdaq." Blah 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 blah. And it's like, no, buddy, you're a loser. Sit there and be present with your friends. That's like going out to dinner and showing your friends how fast you can build a spreadsheet. Like nobody gives a shit. Nobody fucking cares. It's work. It's a job. Treat it as such. You'll be far better off. How long have I been trading? 4 years. I feel called out by that one. I mean, I've seen you. You. I imagine you're pretty good at a spreadsheet. You know your way around Excel. I bet. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not cool, dude. Like, it's not. It's not cool to like go out and like just say like, oh, look at this and look at what I can do. Oh, I hope I did because you guys need to hear it. I'm a beast in the sheets. The spreadsheets. Yeah, that's a good Tinder bio. You should use that, Darian. You should use that specifically, Darian. It's your main pickup line. What's the strike rate on that? I've never had a dating profile before. What? Really? Doesn't work too well. Nah. I feel like I wouldn't do too well in the dating scene nowadays either. I feel like people are different. Everyone's so consumed by their phone. I feel like COVID really fucked things up for especially the younger generation. Stuck at home, not working, glued to TikTok. I feel like it has taken the social aspect out of building relationships. Now everything's done just on the phone. Yeah, no, I avoid that app like the plague too. Not very big on it. Not too big on it. Oh man, yeah, 100%. Any sort of app that like induces doom scrolling, like I feel like it can give you a lot of, attention issues. I'm not so certain about the if you can develop ADHD or if you're born with it or both. I imagine you could probably develop it, but it's really a discipline thing too. Yeah. The thing that really is going to be a problem is AI. I think AI is going to be a very big hindrance to people socially. I think it's already bad enough with COVID and what happened with that, and people being, you know, unable to have social interactions in person with one another other than their family. But I think AI is going to be worse. I think that the detriment that it will bring, because why have a conversation with someone when you can just talk to your phone and have it feed you information that just feeds your confirmation bias, and then you just become more and more hard-headed and closed-minded and shut off and shut out to the world, and yeah, it's not healthy. I understand that it's the new world and it's the way that things are going, and I'm all for it because like the innovation that can come from it is I'm sure it's incredibly groundbreaking. But I think with how people use it now, I think it's a bad thing. It's going to create a lot of social problems. People are already like socially like incapable. Okay, so we're seeing. I mean, we're kind of just seeing us trade inside of this 215 candle for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 50-minute candles. I mean, shit, it's pretty straightforward. There's not much to do here. I may just cut stream in 5 minutes here at 3:45 because at this point there's not much to do. This was kind of just a session that was extremely dead. We didn't get the idea that we were looking for. We haven't seen anything other than complete chop vest occur here. We started streaming at 2:05 and we had this run up followed up by an hour and 15 minutes of chop within a 40 point range. So if that doesn't tell a person to get the hell off the charts and come back later, then I don't know what does. So we are going to wrap it up here, I think, folks. If you guys have any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace, or wait until tomorrow because we stream again tomorrow. We stream every day, Monday to Friday, every day during the week. And we have 3 streams a day for a total of 15 streams a week. We trade London session from 2:45 to 4:45 Eastern. We stream the AM session from 8 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern. And then we stream the PM session like we did today from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes might cut a little earlier if we have PA as such. But for the most part, you're going to get a full 2 hours out of us during this PM session as well. So we stream a ton. I really, really would appreciate it if you guys could like the stream, subscribe, put your notifications on so that you don't miss a stream. I appreciate you guys, especially you familiar faces in here, for sticking around, asking questions, getting to know one another. I think it's incredibly heartwarming to see everyone kind of coming together as a community. And I am very excited for what the future brings for the Lab Live. And we are going to make sure that we provide as much value as we can to you guys. So I appreciate you guys a ton. Social media really got us thinking 20 likes isn't enough. Imagine 20. Okay, I'm not going to say the rest of that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still not going to say that. That's that can fucking, we could delete that one. I see the joke. GG's, yeah, you too, Justin. Not much to do today. Hello, Slim. You are fashionably late. We're actually just about to close up here. I hope your day was good, though. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys could drop a like, I'd really appreciate it. We will be streaming tomorrow again. Starting in the London session, I will tell you who is streaming tomorrow. It will not be me. We will have Juno tomorrow morning or tomorrow night during the London session, starting at 2:45 Eastern. And then in the morning, we will have Kane and Alex, 2 big dogs, trading the AM session, and then we will have Leo in the PM session. I will be back on Wednesday. I will be trading the PM session on Wednesday. So I will see you guys then. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, you didn't miss much, Slim. You didn't miss much at all. No trades today. So yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We will see you guys for the London session stream. Happy Easter again, if I did not say it already to you. And yeah, we will catch y'all later, okay? Thanks for tuning in.